again to the Forward Compatible Podcast. This is episode 69 for June 2nd, 2013. My name's Tony, and I'm joined, as always, by my fellow podcaster, Jason.
We have determined that Mark no longer exists, and he has been replaced by a robot.
We're pretty sure.
No, we know for sure. I was having this discussion with Metro Android on Facebook yesterday. It's Robo Mark.
Robo Mark?
He's better than the original Mark because he can make cookies.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
And it was Robo Mark who was playing Super Meat Boy yesterday.
Excellent. Yeah. And we are joined by two very special guests today.
Jack and Daniels. No.
First of which, a returning special guest. How you doing, Brian?
I'm
Welcome
all right.
back
How
to
are
the
you
show.
guys?
He's no longer like a special guest. He's like a sub-host.
Yeah.
That guy who shows up sometimes.
Yeah. And we have a first-timer here at Forward Compatible. A gentleman by the name of John. How you doing, good sir?
So John, Johnny, Jonathan, Johnson.
Hey, whatever you want to call
Jack
it.
off.
Well, since it's your first time on the show, why don't you take a minute to
Take your
introduce...
shirt off.
Right to the gay stuff.
Wow.
Gotta break the ice.
Straight
That
to it.
escalated
Gotta
quickly.
break the ice.
Why don't you take a minute to introduce yourself? You can hand out your gamer tag if you'd like.
Oh, of course.
You don't have to. Council of choice and anything else you want to include. Go
And
ahead.
here's what else I want you to include: your first experience with some of us at GameStop.
Oh.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
because that's where we...
Jesus.
It is. No, it's a great story. It is. It's kind of one that tugs at the heartstrings a little bit.
Is it?
Yeah.
Really?
Is it really
Yeah.
heartstrings?
Yeah.
I don't know.
'Cause I think it's just
He was
Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
No, he was innocent when I met him. You know, the kid came
Yeah.
in and didn't have enough money, so you know.
Yeah, but that's what he says.
Somebody reached charitable into his pocket.
Yeah, I traded in like 20 PS2 games
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah. Yep. Go for it.
So, my name's John. I like to play video games, I guess. That's why I'm here. Usually play on the Xbox or PS3, but I've been really playing Candy Crush a lot. It's pretty awful. StarCraft is fun. I enjoy that. I met these three wonderful gentlemen during my tenure at GameStop.
Various times.
Yes.
Various times.
It's probably me first, right? I'm guessing because
Yes.
I used to buy video games off him before I worked for the company.
Really?
Yeah. Yes,
And he
did.
used to buy video games off of us before he worked for the company.
And there was this one time I bought a
In
video
Bandcamp?
game off Jason before I knew who Jason was.
Yeah.
Just that one time.
Yeah, just that one time because he was over at Golf Mill. All right, you want to give out your gamer tag or anything like that?
Dude, my gamer tag is on the PlayStation. It's X, the Disturbed one. It's for all you Disturbed fans out there.
Yeah.
And on Xbox, it's the Disturbed One X.
Yeah.
Nice.
Simple enough.
Yeah, fucking A.
Hey, you're the one that carries
How's
the show.
I got it. I was distracted. I thought the story was going to continue onward for a few more
I
minutes.
got nothing. Unless you want to find out how I met these guys.
Yeah, go for it. Go do that. Do that. Run
Okay.
through it really quick because it was kind of cool.
All right. So I met Brian, of course, at GameStop. It was
Long
a long
ago.
time ago, maybe
In a
10,
galaxy
10
far,
years
far
ago,
away.
maybe 12.
Yeah, I started there in 2003, so it was 10 years ago.
Yeah, because we're at the 9-year mark for when I was there.
Wow,
Yeah.
I'm old.
You, we were the ones selling you video games. Okay.
You were still in like junior high, man.
Yeah,
It's weird.
Shut up, Sammy.
No, I just used to go bug Brian all the time.
For Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yeah.
Was it Yu-Gi-Oh or
Dragon Ball
was it
Z.
Magic?
It was
Dragon Ball Z. That's
cards.
right. Yeah.
That's what it was. I
Oh,
spent
man.
tons and tons and tons of too
Our,
much
our
money.
old manager, the cards and the toys that GameStop used to carry were the bane of his existence. He hated it.
I loved
so
HeroClix though.
much. He hated all that. He hated the HeroClix. He hated the toys. He hated the cards. He hated the DVDs. He hated it so much.
Was it Jim?
Jim.
Jim?
Oh,
I used to buy video games off him too.
Oh, Jim. And then next I met Mr. Jason over here.
Yeah. That one day when you came in to buy your PSP
Yes.
and didn't have enough money.
Oh, man, I traded in like 20 or 30 PS2 games for that.
Yeah.
And they had a deal going where you trade in 3, get an extra $10 just to buy a PSP. It's like day it came out, it's like, all right, I'm going to get it. I was like $1 short.
Mm-hmm. And then he came back like 20 minutes later with more stuff because he didn't have enough for a video game.
It's like, dude,
So that's what. And then I had you reserve the Dragon Ball game for a PSP.
PSP.
Yeah. Wasn't it? Or was it a PS2 one?
It was probably a PS2 one.
Yeah.
Is it Budokai or one of those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
one of the
dude.
many Budokais. Many Budokais. And then how'd you meet this schlub over here?
Oh, he used to come in all the time and bug the shit out of me.
Yeah, it's true. It wasn't even about video games. It was about like weird stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, take your pants off.
Banana hammocks and whatnot.
He's like, I'll reserve something and you show me a little ass.
And he used to do it, of course, because, that's what
Anything
they rate
for a
us
buck
on.
morsey, that's what we call them.
Oh, don't start that, please.
All right. Well, aside from that, how has everybody's week been going? You guys do anything interesting this past week?
No.
I finally finished Tomb Raider.
What'd you think?
I liked it. It wasn't perfect, but it was very good. It was a very good ride. I enjoyed it a lot. I think I may have actually enjoyed it more than BioShock as a game.
I was really hoping that you were going to say that you like Tomb Raider more than Uncharted, just so we can rub that in.
I've never
his
played
face.
Uncharted. I only played the demo. I can't speak to the quality of Uncharted.
Poor, sad sack.
I really did not like that first demo. I'm not like super big on like shooting. Like I'm more about like the platforming and like climbing around and all that.
Well,
So I
there's
really-
plenty of that concern.
But the demo was just shooting. I'm like, oh, it's just this now. Forget it. But I really enjoyed it, and I finished finally Castlevania Lords of Shadow for the PS3. I just set it on easy and plowed through it, just to get it done.
Tony likes it on easy and plowing through it.
Well, since Brian already kicked us off,
Oh, yeah.
So you know what I did this week?
why don't we kick off our weekly rounds?
we're not there yet.
Oh,
Okay.
Are we
Yeah,
actually going to
sorry.
go and do the...
We've got the network up and running here, finally.
Jason has interwebs.
Yeah. So what did I do is I proceeded to start connecting all my various devices for it and actually sat at the computer and did some work for once instead of having to sit in the hallway and steal somebody's internet signal.
I like it.
Set up we had a request for us to make a Steam account so people could play on Steam with us, but then we realized that Tony and Mark's vast library of Steam games then would become null and void. We'd have to repurchase all these games to play with you under a forward-compatible account. So what we did instead is we made a forward-compatible group on Steam. You can search that. There's like 3 different versions of it. So you can look for forward compatible. The tag is F compatible, and then there's FWD compatible. It all leads you to the same group.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So we can all just play with the stuff we already have.
Exactly. It's a whole little private hub for us.
I like it. And on that note, the PSN is live as well.
Yeah.
That's FWD compatible.
Same thing for the Xbox.
But that one we don't have live on yet, so
No.
there's really no point.
We're waiting for a sale on that.
Yeah. Fucking A. You do anything cool this week?
Anything cool, man. Sleep a lot. Yeah. Currently unemployed, so
Sleeping's awesome.
it is. It's been playing a lot of Soul Sacrifice on the Vita.
You liking it?
Oh, hey, look, he's got a Vita.
Hey,
It's
you're one of the
great.
6 other people that has one. Cool.
Yeah.
And 3 of them are in this room.
Yeah, it's true. Jason, you gotta get on that.
Fuck that shit. You should be glad that I turned on my PlayStation.
I thought about not homebrew. Yeah, I guess putting homebrew on the Vita to get some emulators going, but I haven't read. It doesn't seem like it's very easy.
I don't want to
No.
jailbreak mine because I want it to work on
Yeah, on
PSN.
virtual games. Yeah.
When they drop, I may get a second one just for that because the PSP was awesome when I turned that into an emulator.
I'm
machine.
actually going for the Tegra Shield. I'm turning that into an emulator machine. So
Well, we kind of already broke tradition, but we'll officially kick it off now by kicking off our weekly roundtable and catching everybody up on what we've been playing since the last time we all spoke.
I turned on my PlayStation 3 after having it not turned on in about a year and proceeded to do like a 6-hour update for the actual firmware and then for DCU online and then proceeded to invest about 3 days into that already.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been playing the hell out of that because they just released a patch for it with a bunch of new crap that I don't have access to because I haven't bought a subscription to it yet.
Naturally.
Been doing more Injustice on my iOS. Finally got Batman Beyond, and then they just updated it this week with Lobo, who's available in the console version. And then I unlocked him last night, so that was kind of cool. Haven't played as him yet. Lastly, as everybody knows, I'm a huge City of Heroes fan. We've talked to Missing Worlds Media before, but there's this other company out there working on a spiritual successor to City of Heroes. Their game is called Valiance. and I follow them on Facebook. I've been keeping up with them, and they actually released like a pre-alpha build of the game, kind of a proof of concept. So you could actually log in and walk around the world and kind of experience it a little bit. So I actually jumped in and tried that out. If you want to count that as a game, it'll eventually be a game, but I played their basically tech demo this week also.
Excellent.
You already said that you played Tomb Raider.
Well,
and
I finished it,
Castlevania.
but I've started playing the 3DS Castlevania, which I'm probably not going to stick with because it's not that great.
Not good, yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm hearing.
Yeah.
But that's all I've done besides that.
All right, I've been playing
Candy Crush.
Candy Crush. It's awful. Soul Sacrifice. Playing a lot of DC Injustice on the PS3.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Why would you get it on the PS3? We were there that day.
Because it's a fighting
Yeah.
games are way better.
I
than
almost,
PS3.
PS3,
I almost
yeah.
convinced him to switch it, though, because we picked it up the same day. I was like, you should get it on the Xbox, because I didn't turn my PS3 on yet.
Yeah, no, that D-pad just for fighting games, PS3 just kills it.
I don't have a problem with it. I still kick everybody's ass.
Lies and falsities.
You want to go?
I do.
We'll pause the podcast right now.
I remember when they had the Street Fighter 4 tournament at GameStop and they made you use the 360 controller. I almost dropped out. I was almost like it's not worth it.
Almost, but he didn't.
I didn't.
Because
I
it's like
was-
it's Street Fighter. I'm going to play this shit.
Yeah, but it was not
And
cool.
of course, I'm always playing StarCraft
Yeah.
and League of Legends.
Oh,
Do you have
God,
a Blizzard?
you're one of those.
Do you have a Blizzard?
Battle.net?
Battle.net. Yeah. If you want to give out your tag for that to get some new people to play.
That one's ridiculous, because it always sticks weird numbers on the end of your
No,
stuff.
Yeah. For StarCraft, I think it's just Disturbed 1.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Look for them. How do you do matchmaking in League of Legends? Because I don't think any of us have tried
Oh,
that.
if you want, my name on that is Your Mom Is My Bitch. I didn't expect to be playing it as long as I have been, so there you go.
Do you play? Do you have any other interest in any other MOBAs that are coming out?
I tried the Lord of the Ring was one on the PS3.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get that away for PSN or PS Plus members. so-
Right, and it was pretty interesting. It worked well on the PS3 with the
Yeah.
control and everything. But Infinite Crisis is the DC
The
one,
DC one, yeah.
that they're coming out with, which looks.
Yeah. Now is that going to be free to play also? Have they said?
They haven't said anything. I applied for my beta key.
Yeah.
So I'm just waiting.
Why do you
to
think I told you to bring me Windows? There's no Mac version of that yet.
Okay.
Tony has no idea what we're talking about. No.
I know a little bit.
No. Computer games. Look at that. Turned on the PlayStation, and I'm going to start playing computer games again.
You can log into my Steam account and have access to a
Fuck
shitload
your
of
Steam
games.
account.
Okay, you want to turn down 80 free games?
Yeah, that's fine. Just because mine says 2002. So,
I think mine's pretty close.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I seem to recall you making a big deal about Steam back in the day for some reason.
Did I?
Did you play PC games back in the day when we were working at the GameStop?
A little bit, not much though.
City of
It was
Heroes.
City of Heroes, which, as we've documented, I got from you. But no, that's when I originally got banned from Steam for asking a question on the forums.
That may be why. I remember some kind of Steam discussion with you.
Steam back in the day was
Yeah.
like the wild, wild west. Like it was not the community that it is nowadays. And I was having some issues with running Half-Life, and I asked a question on the forum.
I think it was an issue with
And I
Half-Life
guess
you were
because
complaining about.
I asked it in the wrong forum, they banned me for like a year. Yeah, it was ridiculous. So I didn't have access to my Steam account for a year.
Fucking hey, dude. As for myself, I played... fucking always touching me. A little bit more Guacamelee. It was literally like 10 minutes. I'm still stuck. I have no idea how to get out of this thing, and I don't want to back up too far because... fuck that. So I'm stubborn, and I'm stuck, and it's lame. I played some more Black Ops 2 Zombies with my buddies. I love the zombie mode. The rest of the game sucks. The zombie mode's awesome. I've put a little bit more time into Resistance 2. Like I said a couple weeks ago, I'm replaying the trilogy before next gen kicks off. Also popped Killzone 2 back in. I'm going to replay that and Killzone 3. But the biggest time consumer was Bioshock Infinite. I finally put like another 10 hours into that game. I think I'm approaching the halfway mark.
How far? Where are you at now? What's like the last big thing?
Spoiler alert.
Like 2 hours ago, I had the slate choice.
Oh, yeah.
But that was about two. But like I said, I'm going really slowly through that game because I'm getting every side mission. I'm looking for every Vox phone. I'm doing every what are those the little view standy boxes?
Oh yeah. The little like the telescopes and the
I'm collecting. I'm going through every garbage can. I'm going through every crate. I'm finding every little thing. So,
Mark, since he's not here, he did some SimCity, which he did a Let's Play for, and it's absolutely hilarious because Mark does not play platformers. Watch his Super Meat Boy video.
Does he just die a lot?
Yes. And it's almost
to be fair, that's how Super Meat Boy is played
if you've ever seen the video for Super Mario Frustration, the guy's like, "Fuck you, blooper." That's literally Mark playing Super Meat Boy. It's just like jump dead, you're fuck.
That game is pretty rough.
And you can actually, I'm pretty sure, I was just watching it last night, but I'm pretty sure that you can actually hear him hitting the keys on the keyboard.
You can't do it with you can't play Meat Boy with the keyboard. You have to have the controller.
I think he's got a key. I think he's rocking a keyboard.
It's way easier.
Yeah.
I think it's a keyboard. I don't know. I'd have to watch it again, but I was too busy laughing because it. And then I've only played the demo of it, but then I guess it shows you a replay of all your deaths.
Yeah, it does. It's awesome.
He's just like, oh, I suck.
Everybody sucks at Meat Boy. That game is brutal.
Yeah. All right. So since Mark's not here, we don't have sexy news.
Competent news.
Competent.
Dirty, sexy, news.
Start with a couple sad notes. The first is that a former Rooster Teeth contributor is missing. David Knuckles Dawson Dreger is missing. He's been missing since the beginning of last week, the 26th. He shut down his Twitter account and Xbox Live accounts before disappearing, which raises questions about what happened to him. And as of yesterday, there were no leads on what happened to him. And then on Thursday, one of the developers of the Oculus Rift was hit by a car.
Yeah.
Kind of mirroring what happened to the guy who did the Virtual Boy, Gunpei Yokoi, who was also killed by a speeding car. So, two bits of sad news at the beginning. We'll lighten that up with
get on some happier stuff.
Yeah, with the false alarm at Robotoki, which brought the LAPD into a tense confrontation with a Call of Duty statue.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. We gotta reel that back. Can you break that down again?
So this one dude, he was alone in the office. He was the last guy.
Well, he was the next to last guy. The head guy at the studio was still, but everybody else had left.
Okay.
Next to last guy.
There's two guys left in the building, and one accidentally hit the silent alarm.
Oh, you can put accidentally in quotes. It may have been on purpose.
Okay. And then, I'm just going off what I read.
Okay.
So then the LAPD storms in. Like full SWAT, everything to fucking try to take care of business.
Okay.
And what happened with the Call of Duty statue?
Well,
this part was like
they had a statue of, I guess, Ghost from Call of Duty.
the new one, right?
Not the new one. It's an older one.
The Modern Warfare's.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because I haven't played much of Call of Duty, but I know they said it was like a statue of someone who was Ghost. And they have it in the window of the second or third floor or something like that, and just kind of looking out the window with the gun. So the police saw this statue, and it's a full-size statue. So they've got this, they've got a panic button that's been hit, and they're pulling up there, and they see someone, they can't tell because it's not like direct line of sight, and even if it was, it's through a window, so you kind of lose a little bit of that ability to see it clearly. They stormed the building. The only guy in the building was I guess the head of the company. And after discovering that it was just a statue, they sat and chilled for a bit and talked with the police and showed them some new games or something along those lines. So it ended okay. Nobody got hurt. There may have been a fine involved because usually when you hit when there's a false alarm, they do fine you.
Yeah.
But kind of funny.
It would have been awesome if somebody shot the statue and was like, "He's not going down!"
Some sort of protective armor. It's immune to our bullets.
It's like he's made of bronze or something. Also in shooter news, classic Wolfenstein 3D is headed to PSN and XBLA for a whopping $5.
I'm pretty stoked about this.
It's kind of cool, but on the other hand, Doom's been out on at least Xbox Live.
Wait a
for
minute,
a long time.
which Wolfenstein?
Classic Wolfenstein, the original, the pre-Doom.
I have that on my Xbox or on my PlayStation.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe they pulled it down at one
They
point?
may have.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got that on there.
Well,
maybe
Wolfenstein 3D.
Huh?
Wolfenstein 3D.
I don't
Yeah.
think it's available, I'm
Like
guessing.
the one that's got like the 2D characters.
Yeah,
and
Guten Tag.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Mark off.
And it's $5 now?
$5.
It was like $1.50 when I bought it. Weird. We're gonna
It
have
is
to.
strange. Yeah.
Fucking A.
I'm gonna have to show you guys that later. Yeah, because I make Andy play.
Flower is headed to the Vita, which is an interesting little thing. Flower is a motion-controlled PS3 game, so it will probably translate very well to the Vita. And in line with the Vita, apparently PS4 games will require remote play for nearly every game. Sony is going to be pretty strict on that one.
That is
the
awesome.
rumor,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool. I think that could work. It'll probably be a pain for developers, but I think it's a good feature. It kind of matches an ability that the Wii U has that's very nice, which is off-TV play. So if you only have one TV, or if you have to do a family event, you can still play your games while something else is going on the TV.
Yeah, I wonder if with in line with the Vita now, 'cause with I don't want to get into predictions here because that's next week's show. Get serious, but
Well, if nobody spoke up, it would have been this week's show.
it would have.
I thought we were doing E3 predictions this
No.
week.
So I just wonder if like some kind of price cuts come with the Vita to get more people
To buy the
on
Vita?
board when the PS4 finally does launch.
Just
think it's
remember,
possible.
my,
They haven't
my
dropped
birthday is at the end of July, and if it goes under $100, feel free to buy one for me. I won't feel bad if you spend $100.
They haven't dropped the price on the Vita yet, have they? It's been
Not in
There's been
US.
there's been de facto well they did drop the price of the 3G
3G down to
version.
$250.
They made it the exact same price as
Yeah.
the non 3G version. That was their own stupid mistake for only lining up with AT&T as
Yeah,
opposed to giving
yeah.
people options.
yeah.
Yeah.
But if there's been like de facto price cuts where it's this exact same price and they throw in a year PlayStation
Yeah,
Plus,
but I meant like an official
They throw
price
it
that
up.
was only available in Japan when they priced it.
Japan got a price cut.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just I hope they do. I hope more people come on board. I think this is great, but it's also not so great. I hate that they're forcing it on people. It started bothering me when Microsoft started doing that with the Kinect BS. They're just like, you have to put some kind of Kinect
Right.
implementation onto it.
For me, I think it's wonderful because with the Vita right now the way it is, I mean, not many people are buying it.
Yeah.
One, and two, if you force developers to allow remote play on it, more people are going to buy it.
You are officially number 7 or 8 in the U.S. that owns a Vita. We've determined on our show, and it's nothing but pure facts from us. Just so you know.
I love mine. The more stuff to play on it, the better.
Oh
but,
yeah, and PlayStation Plus with it is like
Yeah, it's nice. The only problem is you can only get a 32 gig memory card, which is way
Yes.
overpriced. I have about 10 gigs free, and I've been selectively putting things on it. I have not put everything that I have on PSN on it. So yeah,
It's hard. I got honestly like 60 or 70 gigs worth of stuff stored on my PS3, and I can only carry 32 of it around at a time on the Vita. It's
Yeah, they should.
Because he's got
yeah.
a lot of porn.
Yeah, choosing to use the proprietary card and limiting to 32 gigs, 2 horrible decisions.
Yes.
But other than that, I love the Vita.
the thing is, like, games are on average just shy of 4 gigs a piece on
Yeah.
the Vita. It's like you can really only run around with like 8-9 games on you at a
Yeah.
time. That's me and one of our regular guests, Matt, have been talking about this pretty much since the Vita launch, where we hope the 2001 model of the redesign has maybe 32 internal storage,
And then additional
plus
storage,
the option
yeah.
to throw another 32 in, and then you have a 64 gig,
Yeah,
plus,
or bigger.
plus some kind
Yeah.
of. I don't know if they're going to get much bigger because the way those cards are, even the ones that they're made.
Micro SDs, which are smaller, hit 64 gigs.
Okay.
So they should be able to get at least to that. Past 64 gigs, not right now, maybe in the future.
But if you're carrying 64 optional plus 32 internal, I can
Well, that's a lot.
I can understand. That's what 96 gigs.
96, yeah.
That's plenty. People eventually it'll get full.
With PlayStation Plus, you can fill it really easily.
Yeah.
That's the catch.
But I mean, when you can carry 30 or 40 games around with you,
You got
it's a
all
little
you need.
easier to be like, well, I don't need these 3. I'd rather have these 3.
Yeah.
As opposed to only being able to carry around 8 or 9, and you have 40 games at your disposal, and you're
Right.
like, which ones do I want to carry on board with me?
Mm-hmm.
So I have tons of shit that's never even been on my Vita. All these games that are
Cross-platform, yeah, I've got a few of those.
like I don't have Ratchet and Clank Full Frontal Assault on mine yet. I don't have Guacamelee on mine yet. I only play it on the
See,
PS3.
I've only been playing Guacamelee on the Vita.
Okay. I don't have I don't know, whatever. There's
what-
tons.
there's-
I can't think of them all right now. There's so many because they come with that optional shit on the disc. to just zap them over, and it's just like, I don't know. All those games they've given away that are crossplay, I only keep them on my PS3 because my PS3 has a 500 gig hard drive. It's just easier to fit everything. Plus, I'm usually at home playing on the big screen anyway.
If you have a friend at your house, you can play Guacamelee with the Vita and the PS3 and do 2-player, which is kind of cool.
Tony doesn't have any friends though,
It's true.
so
I don't shower, so
I-
people don't like me.
I do want to go back to the remote play for a second
Go
because
ahead.
it is available. There are videos on YouTube of games actually running on remote play with homebrewed PS Vitas.
Oh yeah, I did it with my PlayStation Portable back in the day.
Yeah.
I actually played Bionic Commando Rearmed from work one day. Didn't work too well because my internet was too slow, but it was really cool to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it'll work really well. Just let's hope that Sony doesn't fuck up.
Well, I mean, they have Gaikai, which I'm waiting for E3 to see what they actually physically do with it.
Right.
But you don't even need to redesign the Vita if you give everybody cloud storage. Even if it costs like, they do PlayStation Plus and then they do PlayStation Plus Premium, where instead of $50 a year, it's $60 a year, but you get to carry 25 gigs of online storage for your Vita. I would totally dish out the extra $10
and they
a
should
year for
they
that.
should up
Oh, yeah.
it because 1 gig is not much anymore.
No.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's mainly
Sorry.
for game saves. You can't
Yeah,
even
it
really
is.
I was like, don't
Yeah.
don't look at me because I give no fucks.
You can't even really give it. You can't really put games on it. I don't
Right.
think.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't have to put games on it because you can already download them whenever you want from the store once you purchased it.
Yeah,
But even if it's been pulled up the store, if you purchased it, I believe you can still download them. They'll keep them.
they're always there.
Yeah. But for game saves, 1 gig, it's okay. But like you look at like something like a Fallout or a Skyrim, where the save files get over 25, 30 megs. If they go on long enough, you could fill those up.
I would love New Vegas on my Vita.
On the Vita, that'd be pretty cool.
I'd love Old Vegas, where you're just running around as the Rat Pack.
Yeah.
Fucking
Oh,
bitch.
for a minute there, I swear I was thinking. You ever see that movie, Six Dream Samurai?
No.
Oh yeah, it's a post-apocalyptic '50s movie.
What?
It was made more recently.
Sounds
but-
right up my alley.
But it takes place as if like the Russians had bombed the U.S. in like the '50s. So all these it's Buddy Holly is like this rogue samurai who's like
Yes.
traveling to Vegas, which is the last American city run by Elvis. It's pretty wacky.
Do you have this?
I have it at home. I
All right,
believe.
good.
Yeah,
We're gonna
I'll
have
let
to-
you see it.
It'll
Yeah.
be on the swapping party.
That sounds so bad when you say it.
It's
out
a
of
horrible
context.
movie, but it's
when
so
you say it
goofy.
out of context. The swapping party.
No, it's exactly what you think it is.
He didn't say key party. That's the week after.
That's post E3. That's when we get the video running.
Okay. So, in line with the Sony, Sony's CEO Kaz Hirai has made a statement that the PS4 is a game console first and foremost.
This was hysterical. This was in response to all the backlash.
They just
that
keep
Microsoft-
trolling them, don't they?
Yeah.
Huh?
They just
Yeah.
keep
Yeah.
trolling them.
This
Don't
is
they?
in response to the Microsoft press conference that they were talking about pretty much TV for
The whole
an hour.
conference, yeah.
And then Sony the next day comes out and they're like, we just want to let everybody know we're a games council.
Not to get into any fanboyism, but Microsoft has announced that there will be no TV talk at E3. It's going to be
Well,
just
that's-
about
that's
just-
good.
Yeah.
They announced that before E3, though.
Well, they had said,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's like 100%. Like they're not discussing any of their TV network partnerships
we'll
or
see.
anything.
I don't believe it though.
It's all connected.
I don't believe it either. It's all going to be Connect bullshit.
It's- well,
and like
it's Connect
Call of
too.
Duty and then like 1 or 2 exclusives.
yeah.
Halo 4.
I can't wait to play
6,
Connect
7.
Sports 7 with you.
What? Not going to happen.
Yes, it is.
Wait, there's a Connect Sports 6?
I don't. I'm imagining.
First 5 I'm sure about, but 6?
Yeah. Well, they got to have something come out for the 360 that keeps people interested. I want to see you bowl from a laying position on your bed.
I play the Wii laying down.
Yeah, you can.
I really do.
He
It
just holds one arm above his head and
We-
waggles.
It's so
It's
like
like a shake weight.
it's so I don't know. It's easy. You just kind of you only have to flick your wrist a little bit. The Wii picks it up.
And if you're joining us right now, he's talking about playing the Wii,
Yeah.
not anything else.
So, not quite in response to that, Microsoft apparently decided to defend the look of the Xbox One. I don't know why the look of the Xbox One is what so many people have latched onto. Of all the things to worry about for the Xbox One, the way it looks is the
Yeah.
least important
Yeah.
thing, you guys.
I mean-
it looks fine.
Exactly. There was a statement talking about the look of the system and the controller and
Yeah.
everything. And, it's like, okay, they made it look like a cable box. big deal. I mean,
So
Now I can
so
put
did the
things on top
PS2.
of it.
The PS2 kind of looked like a cable box.
yeah,
too.
I mean,
it
like,
did.
I could really care, and this goes back on the same thing for Sony. I could give two shits what it looks like as long as I see it.
fucking lying sack of
I don't.
dog
No,
shit.
I don't care what it looks like.
No.
I don't care what it looks like.
You and Mark ganged up on
No,
me.
I ganged up on you because
after
they
the
didn't
Sony
show it.
conference. You guys were like, "How could they not show it?" And I was saying this exact same thing. I'm like, "Who gives a fuck? It's gonna be a black plastic box."
And
that
I
says-
agreed with
that says
you.
PS4 on it.
And I agreed with you.
And that- it
I don't
doesn't
give
matter.
a shit what it looks
It
like
doesn't
as
matter.
long as I see it.
I've been saying this forever. Who fucking cares what these things
I
look like?
do.
When you're playing your 360, are you staring at your 360? No, you're looking at your television or down at your controller.
Maybe I am staring at my
Nobody's
360.
looking at the box. The box is nothing. Who
The-
cares?
and-
It can look like a fucking laundry basket with a Blu-ray drive.
And the
Really?
Xbox One, to be honest, looks fine. There's nothing wrong
There's
with
nothing
how
wrong
it
with it.
looks.
It's a black plastic
It's a
box.
black square
It's what
box.
the PS4 is going to look like.
I actually kind of prefer the look of it because it doesn't stand out.
Yeah, it integrates with your entertainment center already.
that's
I think
what
it was a good call on their part. It's one of the few things I don't have a problem with on the Xbox One is
As-
the design of
as
it.
opposed
I
to
think
the
it looks
shit.
fine.
As opposed to that
couldn't
giant
tell us.
hunk of shit down there.
Well, yeah, compared to all the previous consoles that you can't stack. You could technically stack stuff on the Xbox
Yeah.
One.
You can stack on the Xbox original.
That's kind of curved.
Yeah.
No, I
It is.
have shit stacked on it as we
You
speak.
can do it, but it's
the,
not
OG,
good.
the OG Xbox.
All your porn mags do not count as stacking.
No,
Yeah.
I have my PS3 laying on top of it, and I think my GameCube's on top of the PS3, which is laying on top of the original Gangster. Xbox.
he's just got a bunch of Velcro stuck to all of
Yeah,
The
I was gonna
stage
say,
is
it's-
fine.
It's got like
but it's
3
not a
feet of-
stable platform. I mean, it may not be moving, but there is a curve on the Xbox One. Xbox.
the PS3.
I have the
is like-
PS3 Slim. The thing's a total hump. The,
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's also-
the GameCube
exactly.
sits right on there. It's
I-
beautiful.
I would never do that. It's your stuff, man. Do what you want. I would never do
Stuff
that.
works
Well,
gloriously.
and they produce a lot of heat. So that'd be my one concern is the heat that's produced on those things. But at the end of the day, look, if it works for you, it works. That's fine.
He's just mad.
I think he feels bad for biting me, maybe, or trying to bite me. Anyway,
That was Jason.
that's the dog I'm talking about, not these guys at the table.
Not yet.
Kind of in line with what's being said about the Xbox One and possibly the PS4, Take-Two Interactive Chairman Strauss Zelnick says publishers should get a cut if Microsoft and Sony get money for used, but publishers shouldn't be pushing for that anyway. I mistyped that and wrote should, but he said shouldn't. Because they should be looking for ways to improve the new experience so people don't resell their games.
See, here's the problem. Microsoft, unfortunately, is taking all of the negative press right now for the entire industry. In my opinion, PS4 is probably going to do this too. If you noticed, PS4 has been taking little jabs at Xbox right now. If they were not going to have this always-on DRM and all this anti-use shit, the day Xbox made the mistake and said they were going to have all this,
Sony would've said,
PS4
yeah.
would have came immediately out and be like, don't worry, everybody, we're not making any of those mistakes. But they're staying scarily hush about it right now, which means they're probably doing it too, which also means it probably wasn't Sony or Microsoft's idea. I bet this is all the publishers that were putting the pressure on those two companies
I
to
could
do this.
see it being-
Why does Sony care if EA or Activision is losing $10 from somebody buying it used? They don't give a shit. All the publishers pressured Sony and Microsoft to do all this. It's unfortunate that Microsoft's taking all the heat right now for it, though.
Well, until something official is announced, it's speculative because nobody's announced anything officially in any regard.
And
but
it's here's the
Yeah.
one thing that with the whole used games trade-in crap thing. A big point of it is too, and if anybody follows Cliffy B on Twitter, you know he's been in defense of this and he's gotten some flack for it. And he actually, I don't know if he retweeted or stated what they said, but he goes, you know who should really be getting some of the cut for used game sales? The customer. Instead of being gouged like you do when you trade in something at a GameStop or a Best Buy, you should get a higher cut of that as a consumer.
well, you could do that if you chose to resell it on eBay rather
Yeah.
than bring it to GameStop. I mean, that's what when you bring yourself to GameStop or
It's
other
out of
various
pure
things,
convenience.
It's your convenience.
Yeah.
If you want to get more money for it, you are free to go on eBay or Craigslist or other places and sell it, and you will get more money.
Yeah.
Like I just traded a bunch of PS2 games. I could have sold them for $30 a piece on eBay and sold many of them because they're better games. I got $15, $20 instead.
Go ahead. Go
What are
ahead.
you looking at?
No.
Speak your mind, good sir.
Go ahead.
That's what this is here for.
Well, okay. Looking on something I read, Sony said that they're leaving the DRM up to the publishers.
Which is trying to, what that says to me is we don't want to take the blame. We'll give everybody the option.
Well, they might put the
everyone is
mechanism
going
in there, yeah.
and everyone is going to utilize it.
Blu-ray technically has the ability to do a serial number per disc. So you could technically have a serial on every disc that is registered. And then when you install the software, that number gets sent to a server and they know this has been activated on this console. And if it gets moved, when it checks in, it could see that it's been deactivated or moved or whatever. So that's technically been possible for a while. It hasn't been used. It obviously wasn't used on the PS3. It's not being used on Blu-ray discs that we know of.
Okay.
But they've left it up to the developers. So they could be doing the same thing here, where the mechanism is there, but they're not enforcing it, whereas Microsoft chooses to enforce it. That's possible. It's all speculation.
Oh, yeah.
No one has...
We'll
said
know in
anything.
9 days.
We've had,
Yeah.
we've had a ton of feedback on our YouTube page and everything regarding this.
I wanted to do it today, but there wasn't quick enough turnaround because I actually wanted people Skype us in for this.
Yeah.
Because it pissed a lot of people off.
Oh, yeah. I was telling Jason,
Last week
I
on
had to
our
stop
YouTube page, everybody was like, "Whoa."
I had to stop the
Well,
podcast
here's-
because I was yelling at you in my car. It's
Were
like,
you?
Tony, what are you talking about?
With what? With what? With what?
Oh, I have
gotta hear it.
notes.
Go.
I
go.
have
Wait, really quick before we
Yeah,
get
yeah,
too
go
far.
ahead.
I want to bring up this one because this one's from Moss. He chimes in once in a while
Yeah.
on our page. So this is from him. He said, for used games, this is my model. Considering all games will have to be quote unquote installed on your console, next gen, and you won't need the disc. He said you get one active install per game. If you buy a game, install it on my console, play it, beat it, and I'm finished with it. I can go trade it in. However, once somebody buys it used, install it on their console, it should lock out my original install.
That's what it's going to.
That's what it's going to do. Yeah, that seems what it's going to
He
do.
goes, this would eliminate need for discs so that loading would be faster while keeping used sales around. That's his opinion on it. So it sounds like, obviously he's...
I like the model, but what I think they should include with it is maybe.
Man, your dog is...
He's just crying. Let me go look at it.
I think it should include like 5 codes maybe with the purchase of a new game that are good for like 72-hour periods if you want to loan it to a friend or whatever, you know what I mean? Or bring it over to a cousin's for the weekend or whatever, where it unlocks everything fully, but it closes you out after
72 hours or
or
whatever.
48 hours
Right.
or whatever. Because a lot of people are complaining about, well, what if I want to bring it over to my buddy or let my friends borrow it or something, which has never been a problem in the past.
They have a
I think
feature-
I think this takes care of all that.
They have a feature in the Kindle that allows you to lend your books out.
Yeah.
And they could just do something similar to that, where like when you lend out the book, I mean, obviously you can't download these games as easily as you can download a book because a book is nothing. But when you lend a book out to your friend on the Kindle, it
locks you
disappears
up.
from your library until your friend is done with it and gives it back to you, or like 2 weeks, whatever the time period is. So they could do that as well.
There's interesting ways to,
Yeah, they can just
to
put
get
it- they
around
can-
the concerns of the people.
They could put a menu option in there that says, "I want to lend this to a friend."
Way to knock
throw in
down my
their-
headset.
Throw in their gamer tag, and your friend gets access to the game for a couple weeks or whatever, or a couple days or whatever the time period is.
Okay. I think I'm going to switch directions.
You want to switch directions and cut the news? This
No,
most of
no,
this news is.
I'm gonna announce it now on topic
Okay.
of the week. I'm gonna put off topic of the week, and I want to revisit all
Want
of
to revisit
this,
this? Okay.
because I think that would make for some
So used games and always online or just
all
used
this.
games?
Yes,
Okay.
all this. 'Cause
Okay.
we got 2 new opinions to bring in. We got a lot of questions and comments
if
to
I
address.
had known Mark was not here last week, I would have come so we could have had the discussion then. But that's fine. We can do it this week. That's cool.
I like it.
Yeah. Okay.
So that'll be the topic of the week.
All right,
I'm
so-
switching it up.
Cool. No, that's cool. Back to the news. In PC news, because I don't have much PC news in here, I thought we'd get something there. There will be a new Razer Blade and Blade Pro this year. Razer's making new laptops that are quite powerful and look good, which is kind
I've
of big
seen
for
the
portables.
side comparison to the,
Yeah.
the MacBook.
They look
Yeah.
pretty good. They look like they're pretty powerful. It's kind of cool.
No, he's got his dog bone. He's fine. That's what he's playing with.
So
He'd be
that's-
doing that out here too. So it doesn't
and
matter.
they're fairly competitively priced for powerful gaming laptops.
All right.
It's pretty interesting. Moving back into console stuff, because that seems to be more of what was going on this week. Shadow of the Eternals, which is the spiritual sequel to Eternal Darkness 2, will not happen if crowdfunding fails, surprising no one. If you're aware of all the turmoil that's going on around Silicon Knights, which is so sad because Eternal Darkness was so cool. I don't know what happened to these guys. I don't know if there's something in the water out there or what. That company has imploded, and it seems like it might implode a second time now that they reinvented themselves. But they have said that if Shadow of the Eternals does not meet its crowdfunding goals, it's not happening. In that same vein of crowdfunding, Double Fine has launched another Kickstarter.
This guy's nailing the segues.
Yeah.
I tried to. Yeah, I went through the order.
I had some damn good segues last week.
They were subpar.
Double Fine is launching a new Kickstarter, this time for a turn-based strategy game. So it looks like they're trying to do 2 games at once, which makes sense as a publisher and developer both.
Yeah.
Trying to get more in the chain, so
Yeah.
that when one game comes out, they already have something else in the chain.
I mean, Tim Schafer, so he's really got the market cornered on Kickstarter.
He's got it cornered on Kickstarter,
He's doing really
but
good.
he's a trustworthy name that you believe will get out. So he's got it.
I really wish they would do a Kickstarter for even if it's a spiritual successor to Brutal Legend, because I absolutely loved that game.
And it just came out in that. Did you get that bundle that they had?
No, I did.
I got it.
I didn't have my shit. Hooked
It runs
up
on a
yet.
Mac.
I know, but I didn't have my net hooked up.
Oh,
so
you
I
have
couldn't
internet.
grab it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's
So,
cool. I got Brutal
yeah.
Legend. I was playing it last week.
I
played it back in the
love
day, and I
Brutal
liked it.
Legend,
I
yeah.
did not like the RTS parts, but I loved that's a fun game.
I really that's that and Costume Quest, and since
I have that too,
you
yeah.
mentioned a turn-based RPG, I mean that's essentially what Costume Quest
Well,
is.
this is gonna be more like Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah, that's okay.
Or so I've heard. So
Yeah.
they've kind of said compared to. Looks like it could be good. It's a little surprising because their previous Kickstarter game is not out yet. But it's Tim Schafer. He can let it slide.
Yeah,
you can trust him.
exactly.
I think.
Damn it, Sammy, calm down.
Also, recently, I think this is getting Kickstarted.
He's got a giant dog bone. I'm sorry.
It's maybe it's not being Kickstarted, but it's a kind of a social thing. Someone is going to dig up New Mexico looking for the ET version or the Atari version of ET.
Yeah,
There's a documentary.
Yeah, this is it's a group of guys from Canada, and they got permission to dig because this is like a long-standing rumor in the video game industry that Atari, once they couldn't get rid of all those garbage ET games, they literally digged up a landfill and poured truckloads of these cartridges into the ground to just get rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody knows really for sure if it's true. And these guys decided to create a documentary where they're going to explore it and see if they can actually dig these things up.
Yeah.
And this, to me, this is almost as big as Where's Hoffa's Body.
Yeah.
So I think this will be very, very cool. Whether they find it or not will be a different story, whether it's true or not. But just the experiment alone is worth a watch for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully, it won't be like Al Capone's vault, where there was nothing in it. Unfortunately, no great segues at this point. But Clay's Jamie Chang, and Clay did Mark of the Ninja, Shank, a bunch of other games, is kind of fighting back against industry labor practices, which I think is fantastic. I think the gaming industry kind of destroys itself. It's a meat grinder when it comes to the development of games. People come in, they work crazy hours, they burn themselves out. By the time they're close to 40, they're done. They're just out of the industry.
Kind of like how quickly they had to pump out the ET game.
Yes.
There's the segue for
There
you.
we go.
Look at that.
Speaking of,
See?
There we go. Right here, Jason. And I think it's great. He's talking about trying to develop games without having these crazy crunch times. Well, yeah, there's still some crunch time, but where he doesn't have people working 80 hours a week for their entire
It's so
lives.
broken too because then as the game's getting closer and closer to launch, they'll hire 2 or 3 extra 100 people to come in and polish, and then before the game is released, like 60% of the force gets fucking laid off.
Yeah.
It's like
It's a brutal industry, and he's trying to, at least on the independent side, find a way around
a
it.
lot of these guys just hop. Like if they're a polished guy, they'll polish this thing, they get laid off, they go to another game that's 60% done, they go in and polish that, they get laid off, they go to another one. That's all they do is hop around. It's not a very stable
No, it's not.
community.
You hear that, Mark? You're screwed.
Yeah, I mean, I have a friend who tried to get in the industry, and he got a tester job, and he moved up to New York for the job. Was there like 3 months and had to come back.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. No segue here that I can think of. Maybe Jason will find one. If you'd like to see some of the upcoming Wii U games during E3, you can visit a Best Buy in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the list of Best Buys where they're hosting these Wii U things, I looked at Illinois just because we're
Schaumburg?
Schaumburg, and what was the other one?
Bloomingdale?
Bloomington.
Bloomington?
Yeah. I can kind of see Schaumburg, but like nothing in the city.
For those out of the state, Illinois is like this. Chicago has 99% of the people in the state living in it.
Or the general Chicago area.
Downtown, like the actual within the city limits, has a majority of it, and the surrounding suburbs have the other half of what's downtown. These two are like far.
Yeah.
Yeah, Schaumburg's like an hour and a half outside Chicago. They're just really good traffic.
Schaumburg's a decent size. I'm not trying to take anything away from it. It just doesn't make sense. I can't speak on behalf of the other 49 states, most of which aren't even getting.
Well, Moss and Metro are both in Mississippi. They're not even on the list.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm. It's so fucking dumb.
Well, the only thing I can think is that's where the Nintendo reps live, and so they're just picking places close to their houses to make it easier on themselves. Or they have some kind of a prearranged agreement with the manager of those stores. Maybe they're buddies with those managers or something. Schaumburg isn't that bad. I mean, that's Woodfield Mall right there.
Put something downtown.
But
Put something in the city.
You'd think that, or at least closer to the city. Mm-hmm. You know, I could see. It's convenient for me to say Skokie because Skokie's right on the border. Or even
that's like really busy Best Buy.
It is.
That makes more sense than Bloomington.
Yeah. Well, Bloomington's a college town, isn't it? So there's a college there, but that's nothing.
All right, college kids aren't playing Wii U.
They aren't playing Wii U's. You're absolutely right. So I don't know where those decisions came from. Getting me to what I call the duh of the week. In Japan, at least, New Super Mario Brothers will get a patch to support the Wii U Pro controller. Why this wasn't in the game from the beginning is beyond me. There are 3 controllers for the Wii U. One of which is the Wiimote, the other is the main Wii U controller with the display in it. And then they also have a Pro controller, which is like a standard controller. New Super Mario Bros. Wii U did not support the regular old controller. When I bought my Wii U, nothing worked with it.
This was a huge complaint when that game first launched, especially it being your most prominent series on the Nintendo consoles, and you don't utilize one of your 3 main control inputs like Brian was just alluding to. It's ridiculous, but they're patching it.
In Japan, at least. They haven't announced a U.S. patch.
I don't understand, again, why it didn't work from day one, but Nintendo corrects stuff slowly, I guess.
So that's the duh of the week.
Yeah. Fucking name.
Okay.
News!
That's news.
Well, what's
Gmail?
What the fuck was that?
Is that what you're looking for?
I was waiting for him to go, well, it's the time of the week for our reader questions, and then I yell it.
Well, it's time for our email section.
All right. Oh, God. Is it time for,
Gmail!
Sweet. Okay. Let me open up here. All right. We're gonna.
I'm done.
You're a fucking liar.
I just had to get one more in.
Yeah. Gabe Bustos. What's up, Gabe? He's actually got 2 questions.
Oh, he's getting greedy this week is what's happening with Gabe.
This kind of now plays into our topic of the week, so I don't know if we want to hold off on this one now. But he asked, do you want the current trend in gaming consoles, i.e. always online, digital, and multimedia, etc., to continue, or do you want the gaming industry to take a step back? Do we want to address that in part 2? Because we can do that.
Type. I think we open up the topic of the week with his question.
Okay, then we will do that. So we'll jump into his We'll jump into his second question. His second question is, what video game character best describes you and why?
Oh my goodness.
Anybody want to kick this one off?
I have no idea.
I think I might have one. It's gonna be kind of funny, and I don't know if anyone's gonna get the reference.
Go for it.
Locke from Final Fantasy VI.
Okay.
Loves trying to save damaged women. And that was me for so long.
Oh, jeez.
For myself, I don't think I can answer this other than saying nobody. That's 99% of the reason I play video games.
Just to escape.
I get to escape and go into the shoes of someone else that's able to do, all the crazy things that I wish I could, but unfortunately, they don't make any good bartending and landscaping simulators.
They do have a landscaping simulator.
Well, nothing good.
They have a bartending simulator too. It's called Tapper. Maybe you've heard of it. Sorry.
So I mean, I don't want to do the stuff that I do, on a regular basis in my gaming time. I like to put go on a crazy adventure, or go back in time, or hop into the future, or go fight aliens, and all that stuff. In real life, I'd probably man up and do it, but I wouldn't be very happy about it. And there's no respawns in real life, so
Yeah.
probably wouldn't make it out of it. And
Yeah.
fucking A.
How about you, sir?
That's a tough question. That's a thinker.
It's an interesting one though. I like it. That's a good question.
It is.
I'm saving mine for last, so you have to go.
We could be here all day.
Batman.
Way to spoil it! It totally is Batman.
How?
Because I'm Batman. Hello.
Okay.
I don't. No explanation needed. Okay. None. None. Done. Done.
Done.
Done.
Done.
Yeah.
How done though?
Completely. Well.
Well done.
Tony gave a really good answer for this question.
He did. He did. If you don't have anything, that's completely fine too. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, in general, I play games to escape, not to identify.
Yeah.
Yeah. See that?
John Madden.
Yes.
John Madden.
Boom! Brett Favre, greatest quarterback of all time. Tough acting to acting. Boom! John Madden. That's all that fucking guy used to say. That's it. That's all he used to say.
Okay. So we'll move on then.
All right.
Andrew Dillon, he asked, do you think Microsoft and Sony will come out in E3 and announce that their next console will be out the following week or the following month, kind of like how old school E3 was?
No.
I
no.
wish.
I'll tell you why. Because Sega did it during the Saturn
Yeah.
launch, and it
Next
pissed
day.
everyone off, and no one bought it.
Well, see what Sega did was
didn't market it right.
Sega even surprised retailers.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
there's no saying that Microsoft and Sony can't do something like that and do it far more intelligently by learning from Sega's mistakes. If you key all of the retailers in and everybody knows it's coming and they're getting marketing ready,
But you got to give
and
people
then
time to get the money for it. I mean, there are people who are saving, like you were talking about how you'd saved up for a console already, but a lot of people haven't done that yet. They won't do that until they find out how much it costs and when it's coming.
Yeah.
So I don't think they'll do that. But sorry, go ahead.
A month. I don't think a week's feasible.
Yeah, no.
You said a week or a month. A month, I could see that happening. I don't necessarily think it's going to. I've gone on record saying that I think both consoles are releasing in October. It's just my prediction with the way that the fall lineup is looking. But I mean, June consoles don't typically launch in August, so
No.
I mean, maybe the last week or two of September, that'd give you about 2.5 months, but I don't see them coming out any sooner than that. What you mainly want to do is get them out there for the core. They're going to sell out, and that gives you another month, a full month, to replenish the stores before the holiday rush.
And it also creates that supply and demand effect. I think the last one to do that, I know you mentioned Sega, but actually Microsoft did it with the Slim. It came out like 2 days later.
Yeah, but
that's
that was
a
a
redesign.
redesign.
I understand. And that's the point that I'm making. With something like a pre-existing console with redesign or a special edition, it makes sense, but not with a full console release. You both brought up really good points. You need time to save the money. You need that holiday window nowadays.
Yeah.
All right, you got anything on that one? Would you want to see them do it?
I think it'd be amazing.
I want them to come out last week. I want these fucking things.
In this day and age, it is so hard to be surprised with the internet and everything. And so
When we get into the topic of the week, I have something to say on that too. I think it's part of the problem with these announcements, and we'll get into that.
But like for them to do something that drastic, and if they kept it under wraps, I think like just spontaneously saying, "Hey, you can go get it tomorrow," and surprising everybody, the retailers. I mean, it would cause chaos. Yes,
I can
but
tell
it'd
you
be
why
amazing.
that's not going to happen though, because if that was the case, we would have seen stuff leaking out of China by now. Just like when you have a new iPad or a new iPod coming out,
I don't know how
that stuff leaks out of China in advance.
I don't know how
usually.
true that is, because if you look at it, like just look back 2 weeks when we were all like, oh, it's just called Xbox, or it's called the Infinity,
but that's
Infinity.
different. When it's actually in production,
How good did
people know.
Microsoft do?
Horrible.
We know they've been in production for a year.
No, but like actually
the
in
name
like
is,
being built.
the name is awful.
Yeah.
But who the fuck saw that coming? Nobody.
No.
Because we had higher expectations.
Microsoft
Yeah,
did
that's
such a
very
good
true.
job keeping that under the wraps.
We were
So it's
surprised
not-
in a bad way.
Yeah. But I'm just saying it's not impossible.
No, but when it actually goes into like actual like full production, like when it's in the assembly line, parts start to leak out. There's not as much of a
But
demand for that
doesn't say
information.
anything about the release date. That just says
Well,
that people know these things are in production.
These days, when it comes to electronics, you produce it like a few weeks or like a couple months before you're ready to start shipping it.
Yeah.
They don't hold the inventory for months in advance. They ship it. It goes right from China to the distributors. Mm-hmm. So
I mean, you can find out what the new iPad looks like already. They've got cases made for it already, mock-ups with tape on it.
yeah. Well, that it's rumored right now.
Yeah.
But you'll
But
see
same-
how
same
that's true.
concept,
Yeah.
exactly,
You
same
probably
concept.
see that with the Xbox and the
Yeah.
PS3.
All right. Magnus asked. He said, "What's your inspiration for doing a podcast?"
Inspiration.
Yeah. What inspired you to sit down and do this? Trying to pick up chicks.
It's
Yeah. There's
We do
nothing-
this to get laid.
There's nothing that women love more than a good podcast. Let me tell you.
I
Especially
think
damaged women.
I think my inspiration has changed as the podcast has gone on. When it initially started, I was a fan of video game podcasts, and I thought it'd be cool to kind of create our own and be able to express ourselves on our own terms. I also pride ourselves on the fact that it kind of sucks how much smaller we are than some of the other sites, but I love how that means that nothing interferes with us. We can truly speak what's on our mind. There's no big brother off in the corner saying, don't say this or don't say that or don't do this or be nice to this game because they paid us off. We don't have
Not
to.
yet, at least.
We don't have to worry about any of that stuff. But as time goes on, I've kind of mentioned this before on the show as well in a similar question, that it's kind of a rush. It's really cool. Like, I can't say how deeply we appreciate it. Like, we pretty regularly get 100 and something views between all forms of between YouTube and iTunes and Stitcher and all that shit. That's awesome that 100 people tune in every week to hear what my dumbass has to say about fucking video games. It's a fucking rush. I know it's not like we have a million person audience, but 100 real life people with thoughts and their own brain choose to tune in and kill their free time with me every week.
I'm
That's
gonna be honest. Like, from my perspective, like, yes, our ultimate goal is to grow and keep evolving what we do here and everything. But where we stand now, I really enjoy having the smaller crowd because we get to know our listeners a little bit better, interact with them on a more personal level. Like I said, last night I was going back and forth on Facebook with Metro Android, just making fun of Mark, or how I did the Microsoft reveal coverage, and then got feedback instantly, like, "Hey man, thanks for the coverage. I wasn't able to follow it."
I was talking to Andrew on Steam the other
Yeah.
day. We were just sitting there shooting the shit
Yeah.
for 10 minutes. It's really cool that we get to. If we had 1 million people, believe me, we'd be getting way more questions, and we wouldn't be able to address them all every week either.
If we had 1 million people, we'd be making a lot more money, and I'd do this full time and just sit there and answer questions. Okay? That's realistically what my job would become. For me, inspiration wise, it's a 2-part thing here. Part one, which I've mentioned in great detail, is kind of the shift that one of the people that I look up to, Kevin Smith, kind of transitioned from his movies into more or less just sitting around with his friends having conversations, and kind of capturing those conversations on recording. Putting them out there for everybody, yes, that's a bonus, kind of getting that feedback and know that people are listening to what you're talking about. But in the same, it's more or less just kind of having a record of the conversations that you had with friends. The original concept was going back to when I started working at GameStop with Brian. Just sitting around in an empty store, it's kind of like
so
that,
empty.
It's kind
idea.
of like that old school. Well, who would win in a fight, Batman or the Hulk? Kind of concept where you start talking about something and it segues and it just it evolves the conversation, and that was kind of the concept behind it originally. Was just to sit down and let's shoot the shit for video games for an hour or two, see what comes out. So yeah, those would be my 2 big influences. Brian, I know you've got a little bit to say on it because
My biggest inspiration was my mother's battle with cancer. I'm just kidding.
It's like, wait, what? It's like he's getting deep here for a second. I was like,
I
whoa.
froze. I'm like, oh shit.
Knock on wood, hasn't happened. Just kidding.
I was like, holy. Like,
Everybody just got scared in this room. Everybody's stomach just dropped. Like, oh fuck.
No. Well, first of all, I was
Is Brian gonna start crying?
Yeah, no. I'm kidding. This is really goofy, but I just like to hear myself talk and talk to people. I think it's fun. I'm not super social, but it's nice to talk about like certain things that you share with someone. Mm-hmm. I'm more of a writer than a talker generally. So I have my site where I put up all my little random ramblings.
Cheap plug.
What? So there's that.
That was your chance to cheap plug.
Oh yeah, well there will be a plug later anyway because we have a giveaway.
Rock on.
Dun, dun, dun.
Only eligible to people outside the
continental United States.
Well, yeah.
John just got really depressed. Motherfucker, I want free stuff.
But I'd like to add that like I like that this is a gaming thing that's outside of the gaming industry, because I think that there's a lot of incestuous stuff going on in those industries. Kind of like when you look at Congress, you have people who like go from like journalism to working in the industry. Like you have people in Congress going from being senators to being lobbyists or vice versa. And I think there's kind of this thing where I don't want to say it's lost value, but the impact is different. You don't have the same kind of conversations when it's just reporting and when you have to keep people happy. So to have people just sit and talk about it and not have to worry about like, oh, Microsoft's going to shut us down and not advertise with us. Doesn't matter here.
Yeah.
Say what you want. So it's cool.
Yeah, I kind of like where you were getting at. Like, you got some of the bigger sites; they always got to watch their ass. I know that's true, and it's different because we really are the closest to you guys out there that we can get on a podcast.
We are extremely indie.
We don't get early access to games. We got to go. We don't have anybody buying us shit. We have to go put our $60 down, just like you guys out there for a new game. We got to go pre-order. We don't get stuff 3 weeks in advance to review them. You know what I mean?
You don't?
No, not yet. So I mean, it's more down to earth. I feel.
If you happen to be a developer out there and you want us to review,
feel free.
You can send a preview of your. You can send a self-stamped envelope with a $50 check and a copy of your game, and we will give it the greatest review ever. It'll reach about 100 people.
We'll sell out in a minute.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I know this is like your first experience with it, but how about we evolve it a little bit and you give us some thoughts about your first experience doing one?
I mean, I've listened to these guys for a while, and they just go on banter naturally about random video game shit. I was like, I could do that,
Yeah.
And,
it's fun.
It is. It's fun sharing your knowledge with other people that share the same interests as yourself, and
It's a cool feeling, man.
Yeah,
and I would say
I'm looking forward to hearing this one.
There are only 2 gaming podcasts I've ever really listened to, and one is kind of defunct but coming back, and the other one is still going strong. And this one is completely different from those, so it's really cool.
Yeah, I got like 4 or 5 I listen to on a regular basis. I enjoy it, when I'm just driving around or whatever, killing time. It's stuff going on in the background. The ones I listen to are far, far bigger than us. And
both of the ones I listen
they
to.
do have that exact same stuff that I'm talking about. They do have early access to stuff. They both already, some of them played the PS4, some of them have played the Xbox One, tried the new Kinect. They got all that stuff. They got the invites to the reveals and all that stuff. So they're a little bit more in the know, but
just a little though.
I mean, for as cool as it would be to do that, though, have that early access from a fan standpoint, it would be cool. But I just, I don't listen to any video game podcasts because for me, I look forward to hearing the news and having these discussions with us every week. So like, I mean, I'll check IGN throughout the week or whatever in my gaming sites just to kind of see what's going on and everything. But like to actually be immersed in video game world, it's for me, it's this what we do. I mean, I listen to like 8 or 9 different podcasts about random stuff, but this is like I even listen to ours after we record it.
I can't do. I hear my voice, I'm like, who is that jackass? Shut up, stupid.
All right. Anybody got anything?
I had
else?
one more thing,
Okay.
but I just lost my train of
apologize.
thought.
I know for you, a big aspect of it is a decent amount of your social base. They're not gamers, so this is your
Yeah.
gaming
Yeah,
outlet
that's
for it.
same for me.
I have like one childhood buddy who games, and he doesn't care nearly as much as I do. He just plays video games.
This is why it sucks that he's been so busy with work, is because with my schedule, I'm asleep during the day and he's at work, and then I work at night, so we haven't been able to play anything in like 3 months.
Yeah, it sucks because a lot of people, like I was saying, I've been the closest with since childhood. I mean, they share other interests of mine, like sports or working on cars or going to bars and getting fucking wasted and stuff like that. That stuff's all good and fine, but as far as like gaming, that's why I'm grateful to have this other group of guys that I get together with every week, and we get to just shoot the shit about video games. It's fun. It's like an escape for me. It's why I've hung on to a gig at GameStop for so long. It was that was another thing that transitioned in the podcast. I used to work at GameStop for that exact same reason as a part-timer. I was only there like one day a week, and it was my one day to kind of geek out from my whole week, where I got to sit around and talk with people that have similar interests. And then,
Nice.
the podcast helped out.
Last week, we did a super long episode of the podcast. At the end of the episode, I don't even know if you remember this, we gave out a password.
Cornhole Bungholio.
Yes. In our YouTube comments, 2 people gave us the password back, so we're going to give them a super shout out, and that was Stoked and Andrew Dillon.
Nice.
So good job, guys. Way to sit through all of our bullshit for
Jesus,
like
that was a long
3
podcast.
hours.
We were talking about the Xbox One. It kept going on and on. Mm-hmm. So much to discuss.
So, as always, please check out our official website, which is forwardcompatible.org. You can like us on Facebook, which is facebook.com/forwardcompatiblepodcast. You can follow us on Twitter, which is @fcompatible. YouTube.com/forwardcompatible. We're also available on iTunes and Stitcher. And now we're available on PlayStation and Xbox Live, which is Forward Compatible, FWD Compatible. As always, you can send us your questions at forwardcompatiblepodcast@gmail.com. And before we wrap up the show, I've had a couple of people asking about our 8-bit song of the week that we previously used to do. Well, with us, with our deal with YouTube keeps trying to flag our content and give us a hard time because we put up songs that we don't own the rights to and blah blah blah. So, unfortunately, we can't really do 8-bit Song of the Week anymore, but we've got a brand new thing for you where we're actually going to give you some free shit. It is the Impoverished Geek Question of the Week.
See how that rhymes? We're clever here.
This week, we're going to go ahead and let Brian, since he's here, and he is the proprietor of Impoverished Geek, we're going to let him go ahead and ask you the question. The way it's going to work is the first person to respond will win a prize.
With the correct answer, of course.
With the correct answer on our format of choosing. So this week...
I think we switch it up every week to keep people on their toes.
That's what we're going to do. So for this week, you have to reply on our Twitter account to win. And it's @fcompatible. Some weeks we'll tell you what the prize is. Some weeks it'll be a surprise. What is this week's
This
for the
week's
first one?
is a free Steam code for Humble Bundle 8.
And do we have a list of what's in that?
Why don't you ask the question and I'll Google stuff.
I will pull it up for you right now.
He's quicker than you, don't worry.
I know
Bam,
that.
look at that. Bam!
I know
Done.
that one of the items is Tony's favorite, Thomas Was Alone.
That game's so fucking cool.
Also included is Hotline Miami, Proteus,
Mark
Little
loves
Inferno, Awesome Knots, Capsized, and Dear Esther.
Okay, nice.
It's a decent humble bundle.
It is a decent Humble Bundle.
Okay,
And, I guess
so-
you get the soundtracks for some of those too.
Very
Looks like.
cool. So the way it's going to work, again, Brian's going to ask the question. The first person to reply on Twitter will get the Steam code.
Okay, so the Impoverished Geek question of the week. What 2
rhymes.
items work against Aghanim, the boss battle with Aghanim, in Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past? What 2 items can you use against that boss?
Nice.
You must answer in the form of a Jeopardy question.
Yes.
No, it's just
Just answer the question.
Okay. So that about does it then.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, guys. This has been episode 69, part 1. Thanks for tuning in.
69.
I was really
69.
hoping you could avoid that joke.
I made it last week in operation.
That's right, you did, yeah.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Catch us next week, same time, same place.